everyone. Good afternoon. This is kind of an unexpected live. I wasn't really planning to go live until I seen this story, and my mind is blown. This is everything that we talk about all of the time. Whenever we talk about these 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old kids that quote unquote run away. And we talk about the dangers that they could get in, and even though that they leave willingly, doesn't necessarily mean that they are continuing to be where they intended to be, willingly. And this is a scary, terrifying case of that. A 13-year-old girl was lured by a man online. She left her home willingly. She got into his vehicle willingly. She went with him willingly, and police just found her 1,000 miles away, being kept locked in a shed. She was being held against her will in this guy's shed in his backyard, and it's just absolutely terrifying and scary. So, I wasn't gonna come live because of the fact that I was on allegedly with Brittany J earlier. BC, if you could drop her link. We were going over the Gannon Stout case and kind of sharing my perspective and the things that I think took place that day. We're going to be covering that on this channel as well and deep diving into it. And I would love to have panel guests for that as well. I'm going to try to set up a call line so that we can have call-ins for that. Because I really do want to hear everyone's perspective. I know Gannon Stout, Little Boy Blue, has touched many, many lives. And I just want to hear you guys' perspective on his case and what you think. Hi, Ramblin' Rome. Hi, In the Bushes. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Jane Doe, Danielle Marie. Welcome, guys. Hello, hello. In the Bushes, hello. Yes, thank God she is alive. I know, Jane Doe. It's so terrifying the things that could have happened to this 13-year-old girl. Hi, Spread the Love, Not Hate. How are you? Yeah, WTF. I know, it's scary. Absolutely scary. Hi, Sparkling Bubbles. Welcome. Hi, you main girl. So we're going to watch this. Thank you so much, Brittany, BC, for dropping Brittany's link. We're going to watch this press conference, guys, so that you can hear about this. It's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So, like I said, this is a missing 13-year-old girl. They have not put her identity in this, of course, because of the fact that she is a minor. I have looked at some of the cases that were missing in Texas, and I think I may know which runaway this is, but obviously it's going to take time to see if that person falls off of the missing list and things like that. But just absolutely terrifying. So she was from Texas. She was found all the way in Davidson County, North Carolina, over 1,000 miles away, missing from Dallas.
Response in this, just a lot going on, and it's kind of been the way our weekends went. All weekends been very fast. This whole thing did, but if y'all are ready, we're ready to go.
Yes, sir.
Sound good and everything?
Perfect.
Okay. All right. I'm Sheriff Richie Simmons, Sheriff of Davidson County. Thank y'all for being here for such a wonderful announcement. Things went very well for us Friday night on a very quick response. On Friday, March the 10th, approximately 6 p.m., the Davidson County Sheriff's Office was contacted by special agents with the Texas FBI Violent Crimes Task Force in reference to a missing 13-year-old female that was, we found out later, was taken from the area of Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas police were investigating the missing juvenile with the FBI's assistance. They were able to discover that the juvenile had been communicating with an adult male through social media chat platforms. The content of the chat was consistent with grooming and enticement, and he enticed her to actually leave the home where he picked her up in the area. Through investigative techniques that we used, it was determined that she was transported to North Carolina, in fact, into Davidson County in the Southmont area. We were contacted by the FBI's Greensboro office to assist, and we did. Our investigators got busy very quickly and started surveillance. We were able to make a stop of a traffic vehicle stop, and were able to get a target. We were able to find the location of the 13-year-old juvenile. She was locked in a building, and with what we didn't know on site, we activated our CERT team that made entry into this building, into a home. We were able to locate the 13-year-old juvenile. We were able to transport her to local facilities where she was treated, and since then she's been taken back out to Dallas, Texas. With me today, I have Detective Jonathan Todd, Sergeant of Detectives David Blake, Detective Dakota Dennis, Special Agent Spainhour with the FBI Greensboro office. I have my captain of detectives, Stephanie Murphy. I have the lead detective in this is Caleb Forrest, and my sergeant over our ICAC division is Sergeant Hurd. The charges that's going to be that were filed, and first of all, name of the suspect we arrested was Jorge Comacho, date of birth 6/26 of 1988. He is in custody here in Davidson County in lieu of a $1,250,000 bond. Charges are child abduction felony, felonious restraint of a child felony, human trafficking felony, 2 counts of statutory rape of a child under 15, 2 counts felonies, 2 counts of statutory sexual offense with child under 15 felonies, indecent liberties with a child. Again, he's being held at the Davidson County Jail. His first appearance is today at 2 p.m. It kind of is a result.
I'm gonna pause for a second, not to ear blast you guys, but I do want to tell you the girl was missing since March 1st, and the tip was called in on March 10th about where she could possibly be located. He had her for 10 full days. 10 full days. And I'm sorry if you can hear hammering in the background, but 10 full days. And the reason that he took her was to hold her captive for sexual servitude. Just let your mind wrap around that. He took her with the intentions of holding her captive in this little shed. This guy's like a super, super creep. Here is his picture. It's kind of blurry, but this is the picture that they have out of him. 34-year-old man. Yeah, it is. It's a miracle she is alive. I know. This poor young girl. Seriously, guys, please pay attention to your children's social media accounts. You never know who they are talking to. And make sure that they know stuff like this could happen. Thank God police did not consider her just another runaway, and they looked for her. Although it took 10 days before a tip was called in that led them here. It's devastating. Did they think she was just another runaway until the tip came in? Right. Makes you wonder how many more are out there like him. Exactly. And this monster actually has this shed set up with an air conditioning unit in it.
We had a case back in 2021 with a 14-year-old juvenile out of Denton, if you recall. This was and she was taken to a place out in Arkansas. we kind of got the reverse of this case, and we were the ones to be able to locate. So it kind of reflects on this. Messages we're wanting to send out from the Davidson County Sheriff's Office is how dangerous these platforms, these chat platforms are. And as parents, they've got to wise up and see that the dangers to these kids, it just continues to go on. Our case load for these type of cases, since the 2021 case, 2021 case have just skyrocketed. I've actually asked for 12 more positions with the Sheriff's Office to enable us to have enough investigators to fight for these cases. And I've got it before my commissioners for our budget this term. So it's something that we really need, and we're taxed to the max and can't go any further. So it's things that we've got to get. We've got to get a hold on this, but we've also got to get the help of adults, of the parents, of the guardians of these kids. These phones, there's no reason to have a computer in the kids, when they go off. That's how these things happen, is not being supervised, and these kids are very sharp with these computers in the room. So our message is going to be, please help us out. I'm very thankful. I thank God that we were able to find this young girl. It may not be that case forever, and what these children must go through. They don't think who they're talking to. This is still under investigation, or I'd give you more details about it. But this is just the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg, we feel. So we're still investigating this as well. Questions of what I can answer? There's very little I can answer, but we'll try.
Did you say that she was found in an outbuilding on the property? Did I hear that correctly, or did you find her in that? That's correct.
She was found.
Yeah.
You want to, Detective Caleb Forrest.
Yeah, yes, sir. To answer your question, she was found locked from the outside into an outbuilding on the curtilage of the property.
Thank you. And is there any, like you talk about how important it is for parents, is there any education in the Davidson County schools as far as like trying to combat this situation so that parents and kids are more aware of these websites and trying to educate our kids about staying away and parents staying away from certain websites and chats?
And that's a great question. Yes, we do. We do a DARE program in the 5th grade, but it doesn't really cover that. It's just a DARE to keep our kids off of drugs and bullying and stuff like this. But I came up with a program when I come into office. It's called TAME, Teenage Alcohol Marijuana Education. And as we developed this program, I put a patent on it, not to charge or anything, but we don't want the program changed. But we met with our school administrators, we met with parents, we met with kids. As we developed this program, and COVID kind of kicked us in the gut with that. It stopped us because we weren't able to do it because they didn't have school. But we started it right before COVID. We're finishing our full 2nd year with this program. But as we develop these, the classes, and we do it over a 7-month program, it's not just a one-time thing, but we go to every middle school and we break it down into small groups. But one of the classes that we put together, or part of this program, one of the 7 sessions, is social media. And I have our DA's office, and I have one of our judges that actually helps teach this program for us that comes into our schools. But this program is really, we're finishing our 2nd year, and we're starting to see other agencies want this program, asking for it. So and of course we're giving it to them. We've got an opioid settlement coming through, and we're trying to get the AG's office, Josh Stein's office, to release some of this money to help us teach these classes, to teach on the dangers of drugs. But there's so many dangers out here for our kids. It's not just the drugs. It's the social media. It's the things. It doesn't matter how they get harmed, taken, killed, or die. If it's affecting our kids, we need to get busy on this and do something about it. And we are here at Davidson County. Great question.
I know you can't say much, but like it seemed very quick from the time that you received information from Texas to the time you were able to make an arrest. Is there anything you can say about just how quickly you guys were able to locate this suspect and make an arrest?
Special Agent Spanner and I were talking about this just before you came. It's unfortunate, but we're getting pretty old hat at this stuff. You know, we're on speed dial with them, and they are with us, and that's the way we like it. We all work together so well, but we've had to do this so many times. It's crazy. That's why we're pleading with these parents. But yes, I couldn't commend. I've got my major over my CERT team that responded quickly. Detective Jonathan Todd was doing surveillance within minutes of getting a call. We responded. We come together quick. We've got a good team here at Davidson County. I'm very proud of this sheriff's office. I couldn't be prouder of my men and women that work here. They diligently go out day and night, and that's why we are needing. So it's a time when a lot of agencies are short. We're not short. We're actually full here at Davidson County, but we need more manpower here. Our population is grown, and our housing and commercials and things that are coming in here. We need more manpower, and we've asked for that manpower this year. And I know our commissioners and I know our county manager's we're hoping they'll give it to us. Yes, ma'am.
You were just talking about how, I mean, it was so quick that you found the teen, and this is a positive outcome, and it could have been a lot worse. But I'm sure the sheriff's office has like conflicting emotions, because whenever you hear about cases like this, it's got to be really frustrating.
It is, and and it brings back so quickly. I mean, we really just scabbed over our case, and after that, there were 8 more cases after the one in Denton. This is becoming amazing.
Slots your thing? Then take ours for a spin and go for the win with the Bet Rivers Casino app with hundreds of slots, so you can be sure when you're ready to play.
1 second to finish up here. It's just absolutely devastating. Who knows what this girl went through over the 10 days at least that this creep had her. Oh, did they start it over? Hold on 1 second. I'm not sure what happened. It must have refreshed.
They're not being able to be kids, and how a 13-year-old would think it was a good idea to leave the home. What are we teaching our kids in our homes? It scares me. And it scares me even more so that we have to have classes to teach our kids to be careful with social media. It should, if it doesn't stop at home, it comes to the schools, and the teachers or have that responsibility. And if it doesn't stop there, it comes to us, unfortunately. And that's, it's a crying shame. We need to get serious as adults and as parents and as guardians to these kids. We're doing our part. I'm pleading with you to do your part. I think you've been at.
Yeah. Was there a specific thing that gave away the suspect that maybe you got from the FBI? Some information, was it a license plate?
We're still going to put that under the investigative part of it. It's probably something we just don't want to answer at this time. Yes, ma'am.
How long had he been communicating with the 13-year-old, and what was the nature of that conversation?
Again, this is going to be more things that there's going to be more charges pending, and we don't want to hurt Dallas's case. We don't want to hurt the FBI if it goes in federal. So we've got him. He's stopped now. We just don't want to release too much right yet. Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not sure if you can say this, but is he a resident in Davidson County or from Texas, or I know it sounded south?
He's a resident. He was holding residence at this place where we located.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
On a federal level, can we have you kind of talk to us about, the severity of these cases and maybe, the magnitude and the, how many you've been seeing? And
as the sheriff indicated, I'm Supervisory Senior Resident Agent Philip Spainhour. I'm the supervisor for the Greensboro FBI office as part of the Charlotte field office for here in North Carolina. Again, I can't speak to the investigation, as the sheriff has alluded to. It's ongoing. It involves multiple agencies on a local, state, and federal level in multiple jurisdictions. I just want to say that I do appreciate greatly the partnership we have with the Davidson County Sheriff's Office, as the sheriff alluded to. Unfortunately, we've had to work on these types of cases together many times now, But that relationship and partnership that we have with the sheriff's office was key to how quickly we were able to react to the information that was passed on to the FBI late Friday night that we shared with the Davidson County Sheriff's Office. They reacted to it immediately. And obviously, as the sheriff indicated, we had a very successful outcome where we were able to recover the juvenile successfully and safely, as well as apprehend the suspect. So.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Do we know if the suspect had a history of being a child predator or any other sex charges?
I don't think we're going to release that right now.
Yeah, let's hold off on that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Do we have the location of where she was found?
It's going to be 10438 Linwood Southmont Road in Lexington, North Carolina.
Got it. And it was outside of the home.
It was on the
Curtilage.
curtilage of the property.
It was on the curtilage in the outbuilding. It's where we located her in a lock. She was locked in that building and couldn't get out.
Can you spell his last name?
Yes, Camacho. Camacho.
And the first name while you're at it. Sorry.
Jarge. Date of birth, Jorge Comacho. Date of birth is 6/26/1988.
And I know that the warrant said that she was picked up from her car. We wanted to find out, was she flown here or did the suspect go to Texas and pick him up?
So without going into great detail, there was some camera activity that we were able to locate his vehicle in the general area of where she was located and then brought back here. I know that's vague, but I don't want to go into great detail where that's concerned.
And do we know when you guys received the tip or got the tip?
So we got the tip from the FBI this past Friday night at around 6 p.m. And within 10 minutes, our guys had eyes on that residence surveillance. Everything moved fairly quickly after that.
Okay, all right. Again, I thank you very much for your response. You guys help us get the message out, and hopefully the message will be to stop our kids from being taken. That's what we want to do. That's the bottom line of what we want. We want this to be the last time we ever do anything like this. Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
Wow. I mean, honestly, guys, he went there and picked her up. Chances are she left her house knowing that she was going to be running away, potentially meeting up with somebody. Did she know that it was this 34-year-old man? Did she have any clue that he was going to take her from Dallas, Texas, all the way to Davidson County, North Carolina? How many other runaways, quote unquote, are in this same situation? She was with him from March 1st until March 10th is when the tip was called in that she may be there. So she was found on Friday. We're just now hearing about this, or at least I'm just now hearing about this. They just did this press conference today. His official charges were filed and things like that today. Yeah, I bet she was catfished like Libby and Abby. I'd rather be accused of being nosy than to miss something as strange as a window unit on a shed. I mean, it does raise questions. Why? How long had he had this shed set up for this? Let me read this article to you guys, and then we will go into Google Earth and look at that. This is a 13-year-old girl had been reported missing from Texas, was found locked in an outbuilding of a residence in Southmont on Friday. The Davidson County Sheriff's Office said. Jorge Ivan Santos Camacho, I'm not sure how they say that, age 34, of 10438 Linwood Southmont Road, Lexington, was charged with felony abduction of children, felonious restraint, felony indecent liberties with a child, 2 counts of statutory rape, 2 counts of statutory sex offense with a child, and felony human trafficking. So this right there, we already know that he violated her against her will. It's just heartbreaking what she went through. And I'm going to tell you guys, the stuff that's on the outside of this shed, what was he planning to do with her? He says that he was holding her for sexual servitude. What was he planning to do with her afterwards? Davidson County Sheriff Richie Simmons says during a press conference on Monday that officers received a tip about 6 p.m. March 10th from agents with the FBI in Texas that a girl who had been missing from Dallas since March 1st could be in Davidson County. Simmons said the Dallas Police Department and the FBI had determined that the teen had been in contact with him through social media platforms. He said the content of the chat was keeping with predatory grooming practices. These people prey on your teens. They convince them that they are the only people who love them, the only people who care about them. They give them all of the affection and everything else that they are missing in their life, all of the praise, all of the good feelings that they could ever possibly want, and they turn your kids against their families. They turn your kids against their friends, and they convince them to leave their homes. And that's exactly what this guy did. He was full-blown predator and groomed her and convinced her to leave her home. And then he kidnapped her and took her to North Carolina, 1,000 miles away. Hi, Michael. How are you? You have a friend whose daughter's been sneaking out, meeting up with random guys from Snapchat. Oh no, this is exactly what you've been trying to get through her head. It's so dangerous. You just never know. You just never ever know who the person on the other side of the computer is, on the other side of the phone. And I'm going to tell you guys, even if you see them on camera, this is something that we have covered in our internet safety lives that we did. There is an application out there that you can turn any picture into a moving person that interacts and everything else on camera with people. And so even if your kids are seeing a live video feed, does not mean that that is the person that they are meeting up with. It does not mean that they are safe. And this is just so, so sad. You think he is good for other similar offenses? For sure. Yeah, I mean, he literally had his shed set up to hold somebody for sexual servitude. He has an air conditioner in it, for crying out loud. So it says that Simmons said Davidson County investigators began surveillance on his property within 10 minutes and quickly made a traffic stop to apprehend him. Officers searched the property and found the girl. She was taken to a local hospital for treatment and has been returned to Dallas, Texas. The fact that she was returned already, thank God, that means that he didn't harm her physically in any way that she is like being held for extensive care. But what happened to her mind over this 10-day period? She's going to need a lot of help, a lot of love and support, a lot. And I am so glad that officers didn't look at this as just another runaway. Could you imagine if the officers in Dallas, Texas took the report and then never followed up and just assumed that this 13-year-old child just walked off on her own? You think a big problem is many parents today didn't grow up with the internet, right? Hopefully the next generation will be smarter with all of the technology. I really feel for parents who don't understand it all. And the sad part is that it's so easy for them to hide things, right? It's so easy for teens to bypass every app. There are apps that you can have key loggers and different things like that. But it seems like with every new app that comes out that's meant to protect our children, the creepers are online putting out apps to bypass it just as fast. And so these teens are getting informed so quickly on how to get around these blocks and how to get around everything. So it says Simmons said a case similar to one in 2021 involved a teenager from Denton communicating with a 38-year-old man in Pennsylvania. The teenager was abducted from and found in Arkansas a week later. I actually remember that. We actually covered that case. Simmons says he wants to emphasize to the public how dangerous these social media chat platforms are to teens and parents, and the need to be especially vigilant. Our caseload for these cases since 2021 has skyrocketed. We have forced kids on the internet more than ever right now. Ever since COVID, we have put tablets and everything into these kids' hands, even if they're school issued, so that they are able to do school from home if the event arises where there's snow or there is bad weather or whatever. It forces these kids online constantly. Tammy Davis. Yeah, I agree too. So let me take you guys to the house and let's take a look at this guy's backyard where he was storing her. Let me get the address up here. I'm going to be so interested to see what his background check looks like because this is like a nice area, it looks like. The neighbors are just far enough apart because I was thinking like, doing this to her in a shed, did he soundproof it first? How did he keep her from being heard, screaming for help or trying to get out of this shed? But the neighbors are almost just far enough apart that it kind of makes you wonder. But this is a nice home. Is this guy married? Does he have kids of his own? Or is he living in this nice home by himself? Is he renting it? That's all questions that I have and definitely want to look into. But this is the property here, this red house here. And I can't really get any closer. Now, this white shed is not it. There's a gray shed that they're showing on the pictures that's kind of placed right next to the white shed. So these pictures are from 8/2021. So within the last 2 years, he put up this new shed. Is interesting to me. Yeah, hopefully this is his first time and no other girls was taken before this 13-year-old. Hi, CCK, how are you? Hi, Crazy for the Reptiles. This is a different one than yesterday in a shed. Is this a different one than yesterday? I did not see whatever one yesterday. We just watched the press conference, LM. Okay. Yes, Tammy, I will definitely be covering Gannon. LM, I don't know about the one yesterday. I just seen this one pop up with the thing here. So this gray shed with the black roof, this was put in since 2021. So it's been 2 years since the last pictures. And I'm wondering, did he build this shed literally just with the intention of kidnapping a girl? I mean, he put an AC unit in it to hang out in the shed. Yeah, where was the one yesterday, LM? She was found on Friday, if that helps. You can rewind. Do you think this is another one? Okay, yes, this is another one then, because this is a 13-year-old that was with a 34-year-old man. Yeah. So there was another one, an 18-year-old, and she was with a 14-year-old, 2 different cases. Wow. The internet is desensitizing our use. Yeah. Cause less human interaction, and our children cannot recognize facial and body language, numbing their instincts and gut feelings. Yeah, I think that probably has a lot to do with it too. So again, like that shed is new. Let me see. I mean, like I said, this is like a nice neighborhood. It's kind of like just living out in the middle of nowhere almost, with just a few houses right around him. Look at the sky view a little bit. I'm curious how far, like if there's anything in this tree line now that the neighbors would hear. I would think the trees themselves would probably block the sound of her screaming for help or wanting help or anything like that. I wonder how long she was actually being kept in the shed itself. Totally different. I'm not sure. You think the other girl went with him? We had we've been like super busy the last couple days, so I missed a couple streams. These groups are everywhere, no matter the social status or income, right? It is. Trafficking in yeah, it's international, it needs to be stopped. It is. You're glad you have boys. Still scary though, poor little girl. You know what? And this affects boys just as much. Sextortion right now is a huge thing for boys on the internet. The FBI has been putting out warnings about it, Tammy. So be careful about that and make sure that they know. These creeps have been posing as attractive teen and teenage girls and attractive women, and they've been convincing these boys to send them pictures of their private areas, and then they take those pictures as soon as they are sent and they start sextorting them, which means that they are asking them for money in return to keep the photos private, in return to not tell the parents, and things like that. There's been a couple teenage boys that have even committed suicide lately because they have been so fearful of getting sextorted and stuff. Yeah, it definitely can happen to boys also. So make sure that they are careful with that. Like the internet is just not safe. It's just not. There's a video on Fox 59 website showing inside the shed. Thank you so much, Water Sniper. So let me see. Just pulled this one up, and this is from Pix 11. Wanted to see if this was any different. But Fox 59. So let's see what this news article says first. And then I will flip over to the Fox 59.
Late Friday night. Aaliyah, I understand the sheriff ramped up a news conference about an hour ago. What did he share about the case?
Well, they met on social media. Now, investigators say the man drove to Dallas to meet the 13-year-old at a location near her home and enticed her to come back here to North Carolina. Now, they first got a tip around after they were the FBI text. Now, that
In just a second, Google Earth has to close. For whatever reason, whenever it's open, like everything else just lags really bad. So, give me 1 second to close and then I'll hit play again. That way it doesn't buffer the whole time. It's crazy because like I am hardwired. I upgraded my internet a couple months ago. Like we have the Wi-Fi 6 now. And it does not seem like it's made much of a difference. Tammy Clips, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. I appreciate you becoming a member of the sleuth family. Thank you. Thank you.
Locked here on the property in one of these buildings. Now, deputies asked surveillance to track down the suspect, Jorge Ivan Santos Comacho, in his vehicle. They conducted a traffic stop in the sheriff's.
He has a chair sitting outside of it. Like, what was he doing? Would he sit out there and like talk to her? Or was that stuff from inside of the shed that he put out there once he put her in? Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, Brittany's great. I was thankful she let me up on panel to talk about Gannon. Like I said, that's one of those cases that is really near and dear to my heart. Literally followed it minute by minute since the beginning. And so really something that we are definitely going to jump into and discuss.
Words got their target. I asked how long Comancho and the girl were communicating, but authorities refused to answer, saying that this was an ongoing investigation.
I'm just going to pause again because it's looking at the shed here. We have a chair. It looks like 2 or 3 shovels and then a garbage can sitting on the outside of this here.
With multiple agencies and additional charges could be coming. Right now, the suspect is charged with felony abduction of a child, 2 counts of statutory rape, and felony human trafficking, among other things. Davidson County Sheriff Richie Simmons says cases like these are not uncommon.
This is becoming a major problem, and this is how kids are sold into human trafficking. They're not being able to be kids, and how a 13-year-old would think it was a good idea to leave the home. What are we teaching our kids in our homes? It scares me. And it scares me even more so that we have to have classes to teach our kids to be careful with social media. It should, if it doesn't stop at home, it comes to the schools, and the teachers or have that responsibility. And if it doesn't stop there, it comes to us, unfortunately.
Now, the 13-year-old, she is in Dallas this afternoon after being checked out. She is now back home with family. Now, Comancho, he is planned to be in court for 2 o'clock today and for his first appearance, and we'll let you know if any new information is shared. Live here in Lexington, Aaliyah Sims, Fox 8 News.
I am too. I'm just so thankful that she is still alive. Right, a creep. I know. Makes me sick. Yeah, you tuned in at the right time. Please do research on what is going on with our children and the threats they are being subjected to on the internet, music, and art in our schools. I agree, Sifta. It's so, so important. No, it does not look like a single person house or neighborhood. And that's why I know that you've probably noticed that Seal is not presently here. She is pulling his background check for me as we speak. So we will hopefully have that shortly here. I know, Avery. So glad that she is alive. So this is the Fox 59 one. And I'm hoping that this is the one that shows inside of the shed once it loads. Thank you, Water Sniper.
Property. In the next few hours, that man is expected to be in court. Aaliyah Sims live on Linwood Southmont Road, where the victim was found late Friday night. Aaliyah, I understand the sheriff wrapped up a news conference about an hour ago. What did he share about the case?
Well, they met on social media. Now, investigators say the man drove to Dallas to meet the 13-year-old at a location near her home and enticed her to come back here to North Carolina. Now, they first got a tip around 6 p.m. Friday night after they were contacted by special agents with the FBI Texas Violent Crimes Task Force. Now, that's where they found the 13-year-old locked here on the property in one of these buildings. Now, deputies asked surveillance to track down the suspect, Jorge Ivan Santos Comacho, in his vehicle. They conducted a traffic stop, and the sheriff's words got their target. I asked how long Comacho and the girl were communicating, but authorities refused to answer, saying that this was an ongoing investigation with multiple agencies and additional charges could be coming. Right now, the suspect is charged with felony abduction of a child, 2 counts of statutory rape, and felony human trafficking, among other things. Davidson County Sheriff Richie Simmons says cases like these are not uncommon.
This is
Same video, but it's down below this one. So give me 1 second. Sorry. I was looking for it. So this is inside of the shed where the teen was found. As soon as this Amazon Rewards Prime shows its thing. Gotta love Amazon. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, here we go. Peanut butter, breakfast essentials, some type of pills, Wishbone, Morton salt, a hot plate, a Monopoly game, a TV. I can't believe they let somebody film inside here. And a mattress. Pickles. Wow. Wow, wow. Oh no, you couldn't see it. Oh my gosh, I'm such a doof. Sorry. Here we go. Oh no, now we gotta watch the commercial again. Sorry, guys. Failure. I'm gonna actually let it go a little bit slower. No, it doesn't have that option. Okay. So here, there's just like random papers. Looks like a piece of fabric of some sort. And this is like a shelving unit, an umbrella, just random things. This is all on top of a mattress. Honestly, the inside of the shed is not big. It's not very big at all. So there's like another shelving unit type of thing. There's the Monopoly in the corner there. Looks like a takeout container. I don't know what this is. It's almost like it looks like a Velcro like wristband or something. Maybe. Yeah. The room has been flipped. I'm sure it got tossed a little bit. That would be my guess because it does look in disarray. Um, but at the same time, I'm sure they searched it for evidence. I'm really shocked that they let somebody video it, to be completely honest, and put it on the internet. Um, let's see. There's nail polish. It looks like a ring, like a wedding ring maybe, and then 2 earrings, it looks like. It's definitely a wedding ring. That one might actually be a bit, not an earring, like for this for this Craftsman thing over here. So the shed was $4,549. He pays $168 a month for it. This creep literally bought this for what? To make it his little torture chamber? That is so disturbing to me. Then there's a blanket of some sort up here. Looks like what would be a light, but there's no bulb in it. And then a jar of pickles. He has an arrest in November of 2020. You're welcome, Hope. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I wonder what's in the pill bottle. Will you share this link? Yes. Yes, I will. Let me get the link for it right here. It's the second video down, Tammy's clips, just so you know. Second video. No, it doesn't look sound insulated at all. Not even a little bit, laughing stock. You're right. I mean, this tech shield stuff, that would keep the heat out a little bit, or the cold, whichever season you're in. But I'm telling you, like, it doesn't. You're right. It does not look sound insulated. And so if she's screaming for help, if she's trying to get out, locked in here and such, you know, was she far enough away from the neighbors that they didn't hear anything or suspect anything? Sad. It's just sad to think about the fact that she would, well, yeah, true. The air conditioning running could have stopped some of the sound. That's true. It's just sad to think about the fact that this girl spent 10 days with this creep in here. Yes, Texas turnaround. If criminals were actually held accountable, they wouldn't be out hurting others. I agree. I agree. Okay, so here's his background check. Thank you so much to Seal. She is, you know, she is my rock. She helps me. Last minute, I sent her this guy's name. I'm like, can you please give me his background check real quick? I'm going to go live. And here she is with it. So I'm so thankful for Seal all the time. So now this is from like one of the, you know, background check reports. Not all of this stuff is always 100%. So his house, he purchased for, wow, he only purchased it for $68,000. And the owner's name on it is actually not his. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not going to show the name though. Let me get to his arrest. And then we will go from there. No, no arrest. You're looking at other agencies. It does look like he might be single. There's nothing on there, though. Okay, so who was it? Texas turnaround. What did you see that he was arrested for in November of 2020? Maybe they'll be able to bust a ring right from the name on the house. Maybe. You think he's using another name? Possible. Possible. This is a background check. It doesn't, like, honestly, this is not, I'm not sure which one this is, but this has got like nothing on it. This is his neighbors, possible associates, like people that whose names pop up. I will say though that possible associates don't usually mean anything. So I got some possible associates that don't line up. But with his address, I will show that part. It says that he estimated started living there in August of 2020, and it has his estimated end date is March of 2023. They must know that he got arrested. They must know he got arrested. So he must be renting this, though, because it says that the property was purchased by someone else in 1994. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he's probably renting, or family owns it, something along those lines. Arrest out of West Earl Township, intent to deliver. He was arrested in PA. Wow. Yes. No, it looked like a male. You're wondering if he was living in the shed? I don't think so. I doubt it. I doubt it. So he had drug charges before then? I don't know. I'm just sitting back thinking about this girl and her parents. You know, her parents have been worried sick, I can almost guarantee it. And wanting to find her, I'm sure, since she left home. And I really think, like, obviously the police took this one seriously. Obviously, because otherwise they wouldn't have tracked down the fact that she had gotten into this man's car, and they wouldn't have tracked her to North Carolina and been able to rescue her from this shed. One story said he was renting the shed from a friend's mom. Okay, so he was living in the shed? That's kind of scary. So was he only locking her in whenever he left then? And that's how they were able to track him down and arrest him. Oh man, could you imagine being the people on the property that had no clue that he was hiding some girl in there? A child? One story said he was renting a shed from the friend's mom. Wow. Wow. I guess that would explain the AC and stuff though, too. Not just being a creeper and using it for a torture chamber, but he was literally living in here and eating salt, wishbone dressing, and peanut butter. Hmm. There's no like refrigerator or anything though. But there is this extension cord underneath. They got power going to it and then extension cord. Obviously, power going to it with the TV and the AC, but I'm just trying to figure like where did the ring come from then? Is this carpet down or is it like cement? I can't tell. If it's like really filthy carpet or if it's just the wood. It's just the wood. Ugh. I couldn't imagine living in something like that. You see a pan, right? I seen the hot plate thingy. Wow. Yeah, good reason not to rent. Yeah, it's definitely wood. I couldn't see the grains at first, and I had to rewatch it. It would help if I wore my glasses whenever I was looking at stuff like this, honestly. Let me see. I don't know. I guess the biggest lesson is to say, yeah, okay, here it is. The girl was found locked in a shed, locked from the outside, according to detectives. The property owner said she was letting him live in the shed because he was a friend of her son. So he was living in the shed. He is on a $1.25 million bond. Wow. Your tiny house started out like that. Yeah, yours is 28 by 12. I know a lot of people are doing the tiny house thing right now. Honestly, we were talking about that for whenever my mother-in-law gets older, building like a tiny house type of thing because she wants to be independent, but at some point she's not going to be able to. And so we were talking about that because, like, I don't know about living with her, but if we were able to keep her in like a tiny house, like that would be perfect for her whenever she gets a little bit older. And she could be real close and we could keep an eye on her like that. So I know that, sheds a lot are being turned into these now, but this isn't really tiny house style. This is yeah, I guess it explains the chair on the outside too. I don't think he could have fit it in here with this mattress. He just sent another report, not much on it though. It appears he is using aliases. Okay. Yeah, he definitely has a lot of aliases. Okay. I'm not seeing like a wife or anything though, you guys. Like he does look like he's single. Okay, here's record. Here we go. There it is. Okay. No, wrong one. Too many things open. Grabbing the wrong thing. Okay, so this is from Oklahoma, and this one was from 2018. It's failure to comply with compulsory insurance law or failure to produce secure. I'm going to guess that this is something to do with driving. This one also is from Oklahoma. It's operating without a current license plate. Seatbelt, 2017. So that's those. Still doesn't have the thing from Pennsylvania though. Just traffic violations. And then gosh, possible links, possible social media goes to a MySpace account. Who remembers MySpace? You just got a camper van. Your son plays MLS. Yeah. In a couple years, you're just going to follow him to his games. Funny how the big house doesn't make sense at some point, right? I am. I am too, BC. I'm so glad that they found her alive. So, so glad. This could have turned, oh my gosh, it could have turned so horrible. So horrible. Just have to be thankful that they were able to get his license plate, they were able to track it to him, and they were able to find her locked in this shed. There has to be more. Yeah. It's okay. You lived the van life for 5 years before landing here for the shutdown and started this project. That's so cool, Ramblin' Rome. That is so cool. I know, I can't believe the owner had no idea. Honestly, though, it depends on her age, right? She's saying it was her son's friend. She's probably in her 50s or 60s, would be my guess. You know, who knows what her health is like? Maybe she doesn't go outside very often. You just found aggravated assault and terroristic threat charges too. Texas turnaround, can you send that to me? Either on my Sleuth Mom email, on Facebook at Sleuth Mom, or yeah, this gives me wannabe trafficking / drug vibes. I agree, Tammy. I hope he hasn't done this before either. That's true. You're 50 with a teenager. She may be close to 70 if she has a 30-year-old. So yeah, she could be older and not realize. What a creep. What a creep. This woman let a human being live in the structure on her property. Hi, Sean. Welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you to everyone, honestly, who came over from Allegedly with Brittany. I appreciate you guys. You know, I did pick up a few of you guys over there today, and I do appreciate that, coming over to subscribe and just showing support and love for the channel. I look forward to talking to her more about Gannon and honestly talking to you guys all here as well about Gannon. I wasn't even intending to go live today. This popped up though, and I was like mind blown that this happened. Mind blown. Like, we need to be more aware of what our teenagers are doing. So much more aware. Trying to look real quick on Facebook and see what else is going to pop up about this. News has an article. Let's see if it says anything different. Elizabeth Ross, I think it depends on the area, but I know, like I said, a lot of people are turning those sheds into smart houses and stuff. Oh, they want me to download the app. Yeah, preteen. The son of this lady needs to check. Yeah, it needs checked out. Mm. We'll do that. I hadn't heard about it either until just before I came live. Literally just before I came live. That's why we're searching while we're on here, because I literally seen it and I was like, "Oh my God, I need to show this to people." And that's why, like, normally I have everything all buttoned up and all put together already, you know? You think it seems like a bad idea from the start. Well, like, where was he going to the bathroom? Was he going inside to go to the bathroom? Did the young lady, did the 13-year-old go inside at all to go to the bathroom? That's a question that I have. You know, he had her for 10 days. There's no facilities out there. Did she shower at all? Did he let her use the facilities? Were they going in and out of that house? Does the lady who owns the house, does she work? Was she gone during the day or something along those lines to where he could go in and out in order to use the facilities and things like that and her not notice? Or do they have like a separate entrance that goes into the house to a place where he could use facilities? You know, that's all questions that I have now, because 10 days is a long time to sleep in the same room as somebody and force them to use like the bathroom in the shed, right? Like, she had to have been leaving that house or that shed at some point over the course of this 10 days. Did this lady ever see her? You know, did he pass her off maybe as his daughter or something along those lines? And if so, did she raise red flags to that? I'm wondering, you know, could she have been the tip that was called in and said, like, hey, like, this guy has a 13-year-old in my shed all of a sudden? I'm not sure, Elizabeth. I'm not sure. I have a lot of questions though, honestly, whenever you stop and think about it. Um, that need a lot of answers. And I'm sure we'll get them. And I'm not saying that the lady who was there is culpable in any way, shape, or form. I don't know that she had anything to do with it, but at the same time, like, how did she not know or see what was going on? I can't, BC, because I don't have it right this second. Yeah, you have many questions for your, yeah, too many questions for your own good, probably. Me too. But the important thing through all of this is the fact that this girl is safe. The fact that she was found alive. Thank God she was found alive. And that this creep wasn't able to do anything to make her so that she didn't come home safe. The girl left initially. She went and got into his car. He was whenever like she ran away on her own on March 1st. March 10th, she was found. She was being locked inside of a shed on this property. So this is the guy who was locking her in the shed right here. We don't know the girl's identity. A lot of teens at that age do not listen to their parents until they get into something like this, unfortunately. Yeah. You have a 13-year-old, it's not easy these days with the influence of social media. Yes, that's what's important. I am happy that she is safe. She's going to need so many thoughts and prayers, you guys. So please add her to your prayer list and think about her. Think about the fact that she's going to have to live with whatever happened to her in that shed for the rest of her life. So, but I'm going to go ahead and close it down, you guys. Thank you all so much for coming. I love you guys so much. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. We should be talking about Gannon. So, have a good day, everyone. Bye.